I cannot get by without you.
This is Border Crossings. I'm Larry London, and today we welcome a Boston band called Juice into the studio for a live performance and conversation about their latest EP, Workin on Lovin. The band described the new EP as a mix of rock, R&B, and electric violin. Juice say their sounds feature many colors, and it's all organic. They met back in college in 2014 and won their school's Battle of the Bands contest that year. In 2016, their viral hit Gold attracted close to 500,000 streams. Stay tuned for the band Juice coming up on today's Border Crossings. Hi, I'm Larry London. Welcome to Border Crossings here on the Voice of America. In our studios and on tour for their brand new EP, we'd like to welcome to D.C. Juice. Actually, it's not a new EP, right? I mean, this is an EP that you had out for about a year?
Correct.
Yeah, last summer we released it.
Oh, so it's kind of been a year as we groove into this summer now. So what's the name of the EP?
Working on Lovin.
Workin on Lovin. And so tell me more about that EP itself. Is it a Lovin EP? Is it a rockin' EP? What's going on?
Yeah. It's definitely a Lovin' EP, but it also is a rockin' EP.
It's rockin' and lovin'. Lockin'.
It's sort of the different phases and faces and colors of love and our experiences with it and growing into it and out of it as we sort of graduated from college and experienced new things in life that we had yet to. So that was where that came from.
And you guys are you not from Boston, but Boston's kind of home?
Yeah, so we all went to Boston College. So we met, I guess 2013 it was, but we're from all over. I'm from Wisconsin,
New York.
From Indiana and the Boston area.
Is this a New York symbol?
Yeah. I don't know, that was just me letting you guys know I was about to say something.
What are your names?
I'm Christian.
Christian?
I'm Ben.
I'm Daniel.
All right. Well, we're glad you guys came here. Now, how did you decide on Juice? Because there's Juice World that's in the music business right now.
don't like
we
to
actually
talk
had
about
it
Juice
first.
You had it first. All right.
Yeah, but then
Well,
he
actually,
blew
I think
up.
we did.
Yeah, we did have it first. Yeah, he blew up like halfway through college. No, it's a funny story how we came upon the name. There are various historians who will tell it different ways. But there's really there's no unification on the account. You know, you can read the primary sources, but you'll never actually find the exact source of the name. So we just like to say it exists, and that's all that matters.
So you don't want to give us the real story to set the record
I don't know if
straight.
you want to know the real story.
Oh,
It's
well.
I don't know if we know the real story. Like I said, there's different accounts. We're in D.C., so I'll give you the political answer, and that's all I can say.
Selective memory is a real thing.
And normally there are 7 of you, but we've kind of got the smaller version.
Right, yes.
This because there wasn't enough room
The
for
intimate
7.
iteration.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But we've
that's
got an
Glad
intimate
to.
gathering of the 3 of you. So would you guys do a song for us?
right. Yeah, of
course we
course.
can.
We'd
Yeah,
like to hear
absolutely.
something from Juice and find out more about the new EP, the tour, and all of that coming up after we check out this number.
Correct. This one's Heartbreak in a Box, which is off that Working on Lovin' EP. 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's the morning and I still can't feel a thing. How about you, love? When they told me it was coming to an end, ooh, your lips, they got better too. And I wish I had a chance to throw away the key and hide this shit wooden box from you and me. But we both know by now that it's the only thing that's here to stay. Lips on holding on to this heartbreak in a box, my baby. Oh yeah, nah, shit, I'm holding on, holding on, holding on, yeah, yeah. And if only time would take a break from all this moving, these impressions seem to paint me as a fool. But when the evening dawned, a favorite kind of blue, oh, I found that my heart did too. Lips on my neck, I won't forget you, babe. I'm feeling like it's too good for us, honey. But I know sometimes the good ain't good enough. And it's so hard to leave it all like it's nothing. Now I'm waiting on the day when tomorrow runs away. And I'm holding on, holding on, holding on to this heartbreak in a box. Nah, 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 yeah, yeah. Shit, I'm holding on, holding on, holding on. And as the seasons change, they said our love would fade, just like the leaves in September. But in this endless rain, our story stays the same. Won't you remember? Yeah. And as the seasons change, they said our love would fade, just like the leaves in September. But in this endless rain, our story stays the same. Won't you remember? I'm feeling like it's too good for us, honey. But I know sometimes the good ain't good enough. And it's so hard to leave it all like it's nothing. Now I'm waiting on the day when tomorrow runs away. And I'm holding on, holding on, holding on to this heartbreak in a box, yeah, yeah. Shit, I'm holding on, holding on, holding on to this heartbreak in a box, yeah, yeah, yeah. And shit, I'm holding on, holding on, holding on to this heartbreak in the box. No, no, baby. Shit, I'm holding on, holding on, holding on.
All right.
Thank you.
Juice, sounding great.
Thank you.
I really like that sound. How would you describe your sound?
How would you describe our sound?
That was a little R&B, pop R&B, and that, but that
Yeah.
particular song.
That
Totally.
particular song. We like to think of genre as sort of more of a box than something we like to use to really tell people who we are.
Right.
Like when we genres are sort of moods. You know, they're more moods than they are defining characteristics.
Loose
that we
narrative
love.
tools.
Right, right.
And so we move through a lot of genres, and I don't like to think of any genre as something that, you know, we won't explore. And, you know, some of our music that's out maybe hasn't touched some of the genres that we, you know, have dabbled in when we play. But, you know, we're a little bit of everything.
Well, that's great. I mean, that's a great outlook because years ago, you had to put out an album and you had to call it something. Right. It had to be something. Now that you can buy songs, individual songs to create a playlist, you can be anything you want to be and put out a song that's country and a song that's rock and it works. You guys sound great.
And there's so many different like genres and nuances out there, like lo-fi and like
Right.
I don't know. It's way too much for my brain to even handle sometimes, and so it's just like more of a what we're feeling.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think it reflects a lot of what inspires us is the music that we listen to and the playlists that we set up, you know, that we just listen to when we're driving around, turning around, or span from Fleetwood Mac to Drake to Kendrick to the Eagles. So, you know, we're kind of taking that and that along with our own life experiences, everything like that, we kind of create music like we consume it. So
Are you the lead singer in all the songs, or do you guys share the role?
Shifts around. Yeah.
I do not sing. You do not want that.
And how about the writing process? Is it the same every time?
Sure, yeah. The writing process is never the same.
Never the
and I don't
same.
think it ever will be.
It's
for
whoever's
any
driving the
one
tour bus
instance.
at the time.
Yeah, pretty much. Driving it.
While you guys sleep.
Yeah, there have definitely been some nuggets of ideas that have come to us in dreams. In fact, the name for the band might have come to us in a dream.
Yeah,
Although maybe
not.
Maybe
No,
not.
no.
Yeah, there's really no way.
Varying sources.
Yeah, but the writing process is extremely collaborative. That's why I think the sound is what it is, because we come from different places and experiences and influences. But the intersection is where we like to find ourselves.
I was listening to this Malcolm Gladwell podcast. It wasn't a podcast; it's the book Outliers, and I was listening to it on the drive. Well, I listened. Yeah, you listened for a little bit of it, but on the drive to New York last night from Boston, I was listening to this book by Malcolm Gladwell, and one of the interesting things is that you, as an artist or as someone who does anything in your life, as he was talking about outliers like athletes and rock stars and things like that, but really everyone is sort of a result of the period in time where they came up. So we were all teenagers at the same time in 2008, 2009, in the mid 2000s, there were all these different genres of pop music sort of popping up around us, and it wasn't, at least for me and maybe for most of us, it wasn't a thing to only like one specific type of music. We were all kids who listened to a lot of different things, and I think that sort of influenced the way that we move forward in our writing and the way that we interact with each other as writers, because we all think of each other as people with equal. We respect each other as writers and people who are influenced by the culture. So I think it's all sort of played into, I think, where we came from as Americans in the mid 2000s, as teenagers, as young people, sort of influenced who we are today.
That's awesome. I mean, and the fact that you can combine a violin with a guitar and the vocals, the pop, the harmony, the sounds, it's great. It all works. You wouldn't think that violin would be an instrument you'd find typically in pop rock music today, but you're making it work. And that's an interesting looking violin. Where do you get one of those? Kind of looks like it could be a lamp on somebody's table.
Our manager made that one.
Somebody made
Crafted it from a tree.
No, this is just a Yamaha. It's a pretty standard electric.
Oh, really? Like
Yeah.
that with that look?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many really cool versions of electric violins you can have. This one really works for me just because it gives me a nice big tone, and I can manipulate it however I want. But you can get different electrics to sound more like an acoustic, more like a guitar. But this one's sort of a nice middle ground that I can play with and explore.
And when you picked up the violin, was this the intention always to make this kind of music, or when you first studied violin?
Well, I started playing classical when I was too young to choose for myself. My mom made me start when I was a little kid. But I think by the time I was playing music for fun, I knew I didn't want to be in an orchestra. I like very specific types of music, growing up pop music,
And then you
hip-hop,
heard Green
rock,
Day.
Green Day. I was a big Green Day guy. Green Day and Kanye West are my two sort of artists I came up on, and I had the violin, and I had to figure out how to make music, and I don't know. Fiddle camp. I was fiddle camp, yeah.
So what did you guys study at the Boston College?
I was sociology.
Sociology?
It was finance.
As economics.
Wow. Well, it's good background to have when you're in a business such as this.
correct, yeah.
And this album is self-produced, the last EP.
Yep.
Self-created. Now you're working, I guess, a Grammy-nominated producer also?
Well, yeah. So he's our producer, Johnny K, and he has been helping us produce a lot of the songs actually. But the Workin on Lovin EP was produced by him
Johnny.
and
Okay.
us co-produced. So we don't know anything about like navigating a recording studio really that much. So he's sort of our father figure in that regard.
Yeah, he's got this big board, great studio.
Yeah, he's got a beautiful board down in Nashville.
But
too,
the production process is super, super collaborative. Like we're always, bouncing ideas off of him. We do all the arranging. We do. I mean, it's a really collaborative process, the production, and we've and on the EP going forward, we've been learning more and more about producing ourselves. So it's really just it's all about growing and learning.
And you've had a big viral hit called Gold, which had several 100,000 streams. So that's got to be rewarding. Your music's getting appreciated and recognized, which is always a great feeling to get.
Yeah, totally.
And you won Battle of the Bands, I read?
A few times.
A few
We did, a
times,
couple
more
times.
than once.
That's actually where we met.
I am not worthy.
That's actually where we met our producer. This is the second time we did a Battle of the Bands. We did it in Milwaukee at Summerfest, and he was actually one of the judges, and he obviously voted for us to win it, so that helped. But yeah, he hit us up after and was like, "Look, I really like you guys," and he was very. I think he understood the band and wanted us to, like you said, produce our own stuff. He wanted us to be able to take the reins and kind of drive our own creative trajectory. So but yeah, that was one of them. And then back in college, that's Battle of the Bands is kind of how we got our start there too.
We're talking to some of the guys in the group Juice, who are Boston-based, but they're kind of spread out all over the country these days, and on tour right now. How's the tour going?
Well, the tour is over now.
Sort of.
More or less.
More or less.
It never
been
really
one-offs,
over.
but
Yeah. So
we were just on the road for like 3+ months. We started in Seattle early January, and we just finally had our homecoming show in Boston a few weeks back, and now it's just been college shows here and there, recording time, writing, things like this.
I'm sure you got another tour planned.
Yeah, June
Yeah,
6th is when our next one starts. We're going out to the Midwest. So
We're going to talk about the future for Juice, but if you guys wouldn't mind doing another song for us.
Yeah, not at all. This one's called "Look My Way," and it's off the project we put out in college, so a few years ago.
Great.
We were just some youngins when we wrote this one. So.
Now you're old veterans.
Yeah, now we're jaded and tired.
almost 25.
Speak for yourself. There are moments in this life not forgotten. I'll remember through my strife. You took me prisoner with those eyes. I saw you walking, the type of walk that kept the whole town talking, yeah. I just prayed you'd look my way. I wonder how I look today, my man. And I've been waiting for this moment when our eyes can meet so heavenly, baby. Please just be mine, be mine. Won't you just look my Ever since I was a boy, I read about 100 stories about love that sets you free, and two souls would say, sweet harmony. Come sing along to my melody. Oh, no. And I've been waiting for this moment when our eyes can meet so
was a mad dude, met a bad girl with a tattoo.
Yeah.
And she made me feel kinda sad, dude, like the Viceroy on the Naboo.
Yeah.
Told me she didn't date rappers. Told her I wasn't a rapper.
Yeah.
She told me it didn't matter. I wasn't the guy she was after. Damn, she made me wanna fight. Yeah, girl had a cake, but I couldn't take a bite. Yeah. Had me working all night, but we gon' be alright. Yeah, we gon' be alright. Yeah, we gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. Yeah, we gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. No, we gon' be alright. Yeah, we gon' be alright. Yeah, we gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. We gon' be alright now. We gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. Because I've been waiting for this moment when our eyes can be so heavenly, baby. Please, baby, please be mine, be mine, be mine. Yeah. Won't you just look my way now? So won't you, baby?
Very nice. Wow. A little rap in there too.
Yeah, man.
I guess the album also has gospel singers behind you, in certain songs, and the clapping I read.
It's mostly just layering our voices.
We put everybody in
I'm
the
really
booth
glad
and
that
have
you thought it was like a full gospel singer. That's exactly what we were going for.
That's
so.
what you're hoping. Well, you guys sound great.
All like 7 or 8 of us just got in a booth and just were yelling and clapping.
Yeah,
having a
it's
grand old
pretty
time.
great. Yeah.
And I read also where that you guys are very proud of the fact that you make what somebody in the group called honest music, and it helps you to learn. You've learned a lot. That was the statement. So what has your music taught you?
So, in order to make art that we're comfortable putting out, it requires a lot of vulnerability on our part, so that we can actually enjoy listening to it and speak a true message to our listeners and our fans and people like that. So we want to go through life with the people that are listening to our music, and so that vulnerability has forced a lot of introspection and learning a lot about ourselves. And I know being on tour has taught us a lot too, and so that's given us a lot of things to write about, experiencing all these colors, coming to grips with some of the things that we're not necessarily proud of about ourselves. Like working on Lovin, encountering new faces of love and things like that. So I think the honest music really comes from just a lot of introspection and growing together, right? And learning about how to work in a group together, because it's not easy.
No, I imagine a
It's
big
not,
giant
yeah.
group like
Right.
yours has got to be filled with challenges, isn't it?
And we're all characters.
Must be therapeutic to an extent too, because you mentioned you're
Yeah.
dealing with some personal. Everybody's got their own things or challenges that they have to deal with. So
Yeah.
music can be very therapeutic.
I think the biggest example of that is when we go on tour. It's 3 months it's a lot of time in the van. It's grueling at times, and but really what keeps you fresh and keeps you, there and present in that moment are the shows and being able to perform the music for, people who love it. And so that really, there's highs and lows, but that is always, the moment where we're most elated and, feel that what we're doing is, difficult at times, but 100% worth it.
And you got to genuinely like the guys you're with. If you're in a small proximity
Oh,
in a
yes, you
van for 3.5 months at a time, and I'm sure you have your ups and downs and challenges along the way, but that's part of growing and developing anything you're doing in life. But you guys sound great. I like the sound. Who influences your vocals? I mean, who do you listen to?
Well, growing up, actually, my mom will tell you this to this day. I couldn't fall asleep as like a 2 or 3 year old child without listening to Andrea Bocelli like playing throughout the house.
Whoa.
So I was a cellist first, and that was my sort of experience with classical music. And I grew up singing in the church, but then Stevie Wonder was a thing that was always playing on in the house. And I guess that was just sort of the beginning of me finding my voice. But
You got a great sound.
Thank you.
You mix it up really, really well. So we talked a little bit off air about a new EP, which you've pretty well finished. And that's typically, is it an EP? The new, is it an album?
Yeah.
It's a new EP. And so that's usually the plan. You're going on tour. You mentioned maybe June, next leg of the tour.
That's right. Yeah.
Can we expect something new around that time?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Again.
Okay. I don't want to push the envelope, but you tell me
Can't
what you
talk
want
too
me to
much
know.
about it, but
Yeah, so we can't officially say the date because again, the process is never works out exactly
Right,
the way.
right.
But early June, I think, right around when the tour starts, you can expect some new stuff. We got an EP, coming down the line. We got a single coming out first.
Can
And
you
a
tell
video.
us anything about the single?
Yeah, we've been performing it. I mean,
Yeah, it's called Peace of Mind.
Called Peace of
That's
Mind,
going to be the
yeah.
next single. And Dave and Audrey Tell Me are 2 songs that we've released already that are also going to be a part of the project. So,
Oh, okay.
and then there's a few other things that we're still working on in the studio. But there's a video to be expected within the next week or two.
Yeah.
I was doing a cover of a Billie Eilish tune.
Yeah, she's quite hot right now.
she's popping.
I mean,
certainly.
she's like, her songs are really cool, especially for someone at that age writing. I mean, I know
Yes,
she and her
yes.
brother write together, but I'm a big fan.
And you
Talk
mentioned
about honest music.
Yeah, she's very honest. I mean, I just read where she said, she does a lot of those photo meet and greet things, and she said, "Don't touch me. I don't like
I
when
know,
people touch
right?
me."
Yeah.
But so you mentioned the tour and all the experiences on the tour. What has been your favorite experience on tour so far?
Well, I can't speak for everybody.
Yeah,
but
I
going
mean,
out to the West Coast.
The West Coast was awesome. I mean, the coolest part of tour are the people that you meet. It's awesome. I mean, there aren't a lot of jobs that you have where you just go around and see different people and how different people live across country. Like it's pretty crazy. Like we were in New Mexico and we played this little house party, and we were like, none of these kids I would ever see on the East Coast. Like it's completely different and cool, both cool in their own way. But yeah.
Well, and as many experiences as you have on the road, and you're like, wow, this is so great, it's so amazing. There's you have all these experiences, but then when you get back home, and we played that Boston show a couple weeks ago, and I think that was the coolest thing ever because we played in like 40 rooms across the country, and some of them are full, some of them aren't as full, and
Sure.
I mean, you sort of know what to expect going into it, but you don't always, and sometimes you're like thoroughly disappointed. But we got home to Boston, and we sold out Brighton Music Hall, which is this is a venue we used to play in college, and we saw a sea of just people, a mixture of people we knew and people we didn't know, and like walking out onto that stage, it was just
it was
knowing
like
that it was the end of the tour,
Yeah.
and it was the best moment ever.
the preceding 3 months had emptied the tank, whatever it fills that tank up, and then we walked out on stage and it was just immediately like,
It all came back.
Yeah.
Like, I almost cried a little bit during Where I Want to Be. I was like, wow, this is the craziest feeling ever. Like,
Well, yeah, it's awesome too because like you're on tour for so long that like halfway through you're like, oh God, did they forget about me back there? like I hope people still like us in Boston. Then you go back and it's like, okay,
They still love you.
great.
They
This
still
is
love
like-
you.
yeah,
Juice is the
awesome.
name of the
So-
band, and the new EP will be coming out sometime in the summer, I'm
Yeah,
imagining.
early
and
summer.
they've got new songs, new video coming out soon. Would you guys do another song for us?
yeah,
love
sure.
to.
This one's called Workin' on Lovin'.
All right, title track
track.
from the current E EP.
Title track. One, two, three, four.
Oh, I'm tired, love, of a tired love. Got me fired up over the little things, these petty things. I'm not ready, babe. Told me you'll be back tomorrow. If only you knew I was sleeping the day away. The sun's still waking me up, babe. Yes, it is now. Baby, I've been working on loving, but you don't seem to care about nothing. And I need someone to love, someone to love. No, yeah, baby, I've been working on loving, but you don't seem to care about nothing. nothing, and I need someone to love. No, someone to love. Yeah. And I've been working on it. Staring up, I'm broken down now. Consult the clock, but you blow me off, and you don't ever come to me now. Yeah, told me you'll be back tomorrow. If only you knew I was sleeping the day away. The sun's still waking me up, babe. No, yeah. Baby, I've been working on loving, but you don't seem to care about nothing. And I need someone to love. Someone to love. Ooh, yeah. Baby, I've been working on loving, but you don't seem to care about nothing. And I need someone to love. Someone to love. Ooh, yeah. And I've been working on loving you. Yes, I've been working so hard, yeah. And I've been working on loving you now, yeah. Won't you love me
That's all I can say. Wow.
Thank
That sounded
you.
great.
Thank you so much.
Woo! Working on Lovin', the title track to the latest EP.
That's right.
We're talking with Juice, who are in our studios. The tour is going to be international. Are you guys going out of the country? What's the plan?
Yeah,
We are actually for the first time. So
Great.
We'll see if we get all of our 7
Do you have
passports
any
there.
countries
have one
in mind?
stop in
Or-
Canada.
We
Canada.
poke into
Playing
Canada
in
and
Toronto.
immediately go
We're
right
branding
back.
it as an international tour.
That's
It is,
fine.
that's
That
what it
works.
It is what it
Now,
is.
where can people go to find out more, like your website, and get your
Sure.
bios and buy your CDs and stuff?
You could follow us on Twitter. No, I'm just kidding. No, but you can actually.
Yeah,
You can
okay,
actually.
okay.
But
Important.
more
If
importantly,
you're really, really bored, you can do that.
more importantly, follow us on Instagram at It's Time for Juice. If you're not the Instagram type, you can go to our website, www.itstimeforjuice.com.
For mom and dads,
Facebook.
facebook.com/it's time for juice.
Or for older, young and old, everyone loves Facebook. Well, I guess no one loves Facebook anymore. They're kind of the enemy now, right?
I'm obliged to check it every once in a while.
Yeah,
just to see how they handle it.
I feel like
As long as it's not MySpace. I mean, we're not. We're talking about old.
Napster.
That's right.
But-
well, thank you guys for coming on.
thank
You
you.
guys sound
Yeah.
great, and I'm excited for the new EP and for the
Yeah,
current one.
thank you so much. As well.
We're happy to have you in our studios. Thank you very
Thanks
much.
for having us.
so much.
The name of the group is Juice. Catch them on tour right now. This is Border Crossings on the Voice of America.